Welcome to another edition of Scratch Challenges. I am the Dr. Goof, and today we're working on Cannon Blast. Here is part one. What I've done in here, I've gone in and I've created a new sprite. I created a sprite that looks a little bit like a cannon, as you can see there. I just drew some lines and added a circle, put some spokes. I tried to make it look like a cannon. I took my background and I drew just a brown line across the bottom to look like the ground. Then I added my sprite on there. And here is what my script looks like. All I want to do for part one that we're talking about right now is I just want to have a cannon that sits on the ground, and the arrow keys can move the cannon up and down and point the cannon in a different direction. So that is all we're hoping to do. So let's quick look through some of the code I wrote up here. So when the green flag is clicked, I want the cannon to go to the position in the bottom left. Then I want to point the cannon in direction 86. It doesn't necessarily have to be 86, but that's what I chose as the starting position. It points in that direction right there. Not quite straight across, but in that general direction. You may have to play around with what exactly you want your initial direction to be. It might not always be straight across. But that's what we have. Then I just have a forever loop. And in here, I want to know if I press the arrow key, I want to turn it 2 degrees up. If I press the down arrow, I want it to go 2 degrees down. Here's where things get a little bit difficult though. I don't want my cannon to be able to turn around and point to the left. That is what this if loop around here is for. So if direction is greater than 5 and direction is less than 89, I want to wait for the arrow keys. And I'm going to run this real quick to give you a quick demonstration. There's also another thing. Direction of the cannon is important. And if you go into motion and click on direction, it shows it in the upper left of your screen. So let's run this real quick and see what happens. When I press the up arrow, my cannon is moving up, as you can see. And you'll notice my direction, surprisingly, is going down. And my direction goes all the way to 4. And here is where the problem lies. I get stuck right there. I can't go back. But I'm going to try this again. Now I'm pressing my up key, press my down key. But at the bottom, if I go too far down, I get stuck. Here's why it is getting stuck. It is because when I point my arrow key down far enough, my direction gets outside of 5 to 89, and the cannon no longer functions. So I'm skipping over this first part of the if. That's why I need to add another if else within the bottom part. And what this says is if your cannon goes too low, move it back up to 6 or move it back up to 86. If your cannon is too high, move it back to 6. So now we'll run it again and build this, and you notice at the top it kind of bounces back and forth, but I never get out of that, and at the bottom it kind of bounces, so when I go too low it bounces me back into the right level, because I don't actually want to shoot my cannon straight into the ground, and I don't want to shoot it up and to the left. That is Cannon Blast. That is part one of Cannon Blast. I will leave the screen like this. If you need to pause your screen and take a look at this and rebuild this, you can play around with this a little bit and see if you can get it to work like that. But that's part one of Cannon Blast. There's a couple other parts in here. The next parts are a little bit tricky, but we'll be making some videos on those. Getting your cannonball to shoot up in the air and then fall back down in the air is kind of tricky, and it deals with the idea of gravity from physics. But I'll make a video on that, and you can play around with that as well. Anyhow, this is part one of Cannon Blast. Best of luck. I hope you figure this one out.